A young woman's life was turned upside down when she realized the man who raised her may not be her biological father. For 2 years, she's fought for real answers and tells us she's, quote, done being quiet. Our Kelsey Anderson has more.
It might be a case of first impression.
Manhattan family and matrimonial attorney Ankit Kapoor says he's never heard of a case like this. Jordan Trippi, a Grand Island native who now lives in Florida, says when she thinks of her dad, she pictures a hardworking, blue-collar construction owner who always made sure his family was cared for.
He removed every barrier that he ever could so that I could pursue the fullest life.
Those loving memories live on 3 years after his passing. After a short illness in the spring of 2022, he died the day after her wedding day.
It shakes your whole world, right? It shakes your world, and I think the circumstances around it shook my world even more.
Those circumstances are the results of a DNA test from ancestry.com.
I was really interested to know more about my family and the origin and the story of my ancestors' life.
But the results didn't show any of her dad's trippy Italian and German heritage. It did show her mom's Hamsic roots.
I just assumed that it was a fluke. I assured myself I would circle back to it when I had a bit more time. We all really resembled that Hamsic part of our genetics. The number of times that I got from fellow students, peers, like, you don't look Italian at all. I would need my fingers and my toes.
One of the strangest parts of the results, 2 people on the Ancestry.com app she did not know showed up as a slight DNA match with her. She tells me their last name was McGuire. Months after her dad passed, she sat down with her mom to ask questions.
She was also shocked and confused by the results. She had felt assured that I was my dad's.
But that last name jogged her mom's memory of another man. They realized Jordan's dad maybe wasn't her biological father.
In many ways, this kind of like rebooted, or like it made me start the grieving process all over again.
The man she does believe to be her biological father, Frank McGuire, also passed away in the summer of 2020.
I would never know my biological dad, and he would never know me.
McGuire, the chairman of the McGuire Group, was 92 when he passed. According to his obituary in the Buffalo News, McGuire built a business of more than 30 companies that employed 1,700 people in Western New York.
To think like he was such a staple, such a, man of notoriety in the city of Buffalo, and for it to have never mentioned him, I knew of no connection there.
For 2 years, she's fought to get definitive answers.
At 30 years old, I found out that every medical record that I have filled out my family history of was completely inaccurate. And on a lighter note, I realized that that history project I did at Hugh Throat Elementary, also grossly inaccurate. In a deeper sense, I think knowing our heritage, our ancestors, where we came from, important for the soul.
Her want? One of the McGuire's 7 children to do a DNA swab, proving she is in fact their sibling. A year ago, state surrogate court judge Asia Mosi decided in Trippy's favor. But the McGuire siblings argued a privacy concern. It's now being appealed. Kapoor says he hasn't found a case like this, where a sibling was forced to do a DNA test.
DNA testing is definitely not uncommon to New York courts. In terms of Jordan Trippy's case, where the siblings are ordered to do a DNA test, that I believe might be a case of first impression. I did not encounter other cases where siblings were ordered. Identical twin of the decedent was ordered, the grandparents in a case were ordered, but siblings might be something new.
Another issue at play here, McGuire's estate.
When I consider the fact of his wealth, of his empire, I don't assume any of it to be mine.
I reached out to the attorneys for all the children of Frank McGuire. They released this joint statement saying in part, if Miss Trippi had shown any interest in getting to know us rather than filing a claim for go-away money in surrogate's court, we are sure family members would have been more welcoming. In fact, Miss Trippi only reached out to one of 7 siblings more than a year after her legal effort began. While none of us are beneficiaries, we would like to see our father's wishes and bequests in his will fulfilled, rather than dragged out in this tawdry process. In a decision, Judge Mosey says a challenge to Frank McGuire's will is a matter for another day. Kapoor says challenging the will would be an uphill battle.
One of the main things I noticed was that the will of Frank McGuire does not give what's called a class gift, where he named his children in the will. If his will said, I leave X to my wife and X to so-and-so, and then the remainder in equal shares to my children, then any child that's out there will be entitled to make a claim against the benefit. But when you name children, then you're limited to the children that are named. Generally speaking, there are some exceptions.
For those who assume that I am pursuing this because he is a millionaire, they're likely missing the piece that I just genuinely want to know who my dad is, just like anybody else, and conclusively.
Well, Jordan tells us the appeal is being argued tomorrow. If she does win this appeal and is able to prove she's a daughter of Frank McGuire and wants a piece of the pie, Kapoor says she'll have to try and invalidate Frank McGuire's will, which would be difficult. However, he says there could be non-probate assets she could go after, such as a life insurance policy or retirement account.